Okay, hello. Welcome to Pinning Perspectives. I'm Allie.
I'm Angel.
And I'm Grace. And this is our first episode in a series that we're doing over the 7 myths of writing centers, which was written by Richard Lee from Boise University back all the way in 1988. And that might seem outdated on first glance, but a lot of the things that he addresses still applies to, say, writing tutors like us today.
Yes, it's still very relevant in that there's a lot of common misconceptions, and that comes from how writing centers advertise themselves, um, and how faculty have these preconceived notions of what writing centers are, and it's all very problematic. So, as I guess workers in a writing studio here at Eastern Kentucky, we want to set the record straight.
So, our first myth that we're going to address is a writing center a remedial service for poor writers?
I feel like this one's very problematic for a lot of reasons. Specifically, the word remedial is definitely problematic because remedial implies that we're some sort of a cure for bad writing, which is not the case. And to even imply that there is such a thing as bad writing is problematic in its own right because that lets people come into meetings or consultations, both consultants and students, with the idea that this is something that we're supposed to fix, which really sort of undermines the conversations that we actually, like the constructive conversations that we actually have about like rhetoric and communication. So I feel like that's really problematic.
It's problematic because it starts students out feeling bad about themselves. It starts them out with this emotion like, I'm a bad writer, I'm not going to get better without help. Like, it really sets this negative tone to coming to a writing center. Like, I'm coming here because I suck and I need help. And that's not something that we really want to advertise as a writing studio.
Yeah, speaking from personal experience, I guess, as a worker here at the NOLA studio, I still utilize our resources. I still make, meetings with our consultants because, they're always beneficial. It's always beneficial to get a second set of eyes on something. Typically when you're writing, you tend to think things in your own mind without, I guess, clarifying them on paper. So it's always, interesting to see where you can clarify more in your writing. And that's kind of off topic, but I work at the Writing Center. I know how to write essays. I wouldn't say I'm a poor writer. I'm not the best, but I'm not poor at it. And so I think, with that notion that like, oh, we only help bad writers here. It's only for bad writers. Like that's not the case at all.
And we have to think about the fact that even scholarly writers get their stuff peer reviewed. Like, there is literally peer reviewed scholarly writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're having somebody look over their stuff and help them address the little problems or the little mistakes that are in there that need to be fixed. And I think if we as writing studios and if like teachers and faculty also establish that with their students instead of calling them poor writers, instead of saying like, oh, you suck, whatever, everyone can use help, everyone can get help, and everyone can be better. And going to visit with a person who's kind of like your peer, who can be friendly towards you and is on the same level as you, is a lot less daunting, for one. And for two, it's really helpful. Like, I use the studio too. I'm in here all the time asking my friends and asking the people that I know, like, hey, can you help me look this over? Can you help me identify problems with it? Things like that. So I hope that clarifies what a writing studio is and that it's not just a remedial service for